thank you to your team, and you wanted to introduce to us your
Yes,
team and
I
the
mean,
people who are with you.
When doing this, you don't do it together. You don't do it alone. There's been a lot of wonderful people to help me do this and put their fingerprint on this film. So I have crew from Denmark, Sweden, Lebanon, America, everywhere. It's a big co-production. So please, crew, come up here on stage and give them a big applause. I'll just get everybody up here, and then I think it's just quite special. The two very special people who are here today is obviously Bjørk Storm and Trine Dyrholm. So please give them a huge round of applause. People go down and we do the Q&A. I just want to thank each and every one of you who's helped us do this project. I'm very moved because you're also very special, and I think you all helped us make this film, helped me. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
In the film, especially when you don't watch it for the first time, you see that one event leads to the next, very chronologically, and then you go home and suddenly realize there is a layer underneath that is very physical, very bodily, and how the people in the film, of course mainly the four family members, relate to each other. I wonder how you processed the storyline.
Maybe I can start and you can take over, Rasmus, if I'm stupid or something. I think the script process started obviously a long time ago. We wanted to make a story that was quite simple in its direct plot. It was never really the obvious plot that was the most interesting. It was about the characters and creating a space for them and trying to understand them and be on this journey with them. I think you read all of these things, and it's like a fairly new director. Maybe it's not as much anymore, but you read, you get sent stuff, and I always wondered, like within the 5 minutes, like so many things happened. There's everything is just drama is so obviously dramatic, and I think for this film we just kind of wanted to find the story in the everyday and in the simple and in the what happens in between people. So that was, and with that comes all the thematics and all the depths.
I don't know if I can add anything. It's very important for us, of course very important to us that this story was very real, that it felt like real life and real people. And I think that emotions kind of pop up in those real life moments that are just everyday, that we all know. So that was pretty important to us. Yeah.
The two ladies to my left, I think both of you equally deserve a round of applause. I stick to the physical performance that is very opposite of each other, but I think equally difficult to act in. So I don't know who of you wants to start giving us a little bit of background of how you, Trine, how you were able to act paralyzed and then throughout the film getting better and better, and when in the end you come for the competition you can walk, but this must have been incredibly difficult to learn or to rehearse. I don't know.
No, it was of course a big challenge.
but I am surrounded by good people, and Jeanette introduced me to a very important woman for me in this film, Marie, that is a physical therapist and works with rehabilitation, and she's actually also the woman in the film that helps at the hospital when I have to walk for the first time, when Anne has to walk. So I worked with her in a physical way, and we, worked how is it to walk for the first time, how is it to have like an arm that is paralyzed, and she really helped me a lot. And then of course we did a lot of research, and we saw a lot of videos and stuff of people that has suffered from a stroke. And then I started to swim. Actually, the swimming was kind of a very important part of my preparation, because I started quite early. I'm not a good swimmer as Trine, so I had to learn first to crawl, and then I had to do it with only half of the body, and it was really, really challenging, but also it kind of gave me the right understanding in a way of what Anne is struggling with. And so for me it was a very important preparation. Yeah.
I think it was absolutely convincing and very, very courageous. Now I come to you, Bjørk. I was wondering, did you learn this for the film, or was that there before you got the part?
I wish I could say that, but no, I did have did gymnastics prior to this, but I think I did it for like 4 years maybe. But with that being said, I had not touched a beam for I think 4 or 5 years, so it was almost new territory, but not quite. So I did some rehearsing before that. I think 2 months I did some workouts, which was very nice. I got in great shape, and it was very fun. Yeah, and I mean it's very different doing it in front of a camera, of course. But Jeanette and I and Greta also, we did a lot of communication on how we should make it the most convincing without doing the toughest tricks, because I did not get to that level.
You convinced me. A huge production. Question for you. So many countries coming together in what looks like a small town or even a village. I don't know, I couldn't really make it out. How did you put all this together that was necessary to create such a...
Well, we are in quite a small town actually, on the island of Funen in Denmark. And as in most, I would say, cinema productions at this time, and especially the ones that are more artistically inclined, co-production is absolutely necessary. So we had a lot of funding partners, and we had co-producing partners from Belgium and from Sweden that were a huge part of the lifting of this production, yeah. And on top of that, we had Berlinale and Nordic Film and TV Fund and the big European funding bodies coming in as well. So a huge collaboration, as you could probably see on the credit list, testifies to itself, yeah.
And we saw also on the credit list that you, Trine, are not only on it, but also executive producer in this film. When did this happen that you said, oh, this is a project, I want to do more than just act?
Well, it was all about money. You know, it's so difficult to finance a film these days, and I mean, I really believed in this film. I thought it was a beautiful script from the beginning of, and you feel the personal DNA that comes from Jeanette in the whole project. And then, you know, they were struggling with how to get enough money to actually be able to shoot the film. So I just decided to
kind of put some money in the film or not get the whole salary or how you say it. And then I was kind of part of the whole, like, we're fighting for this together. Yeah.
I don't know who is the best to answer this next question. You and Thomas in the film, or David. You have a past in acting life. So I think it's about 18 years back that in Pernille Fischer's film it's long time.
Or 20 years. It was in 2006 we were here at the Berlinale.
Yes.
In February 2006. That's almost 20 years ago, yeah.
Counting is not my fault.
No, I mean, David, he could not be here tonight because he's shooting, and we miss him so much. He's amazing. Yes, let's applaud him.
But how important was it, I don't know, maybe to you, but also to Jeanette, the question, that there is a real past between the people who are like the closest, moving from each other back to each other. Did that matter when you
that they have a personal history?
Mm-hmm.
Of course it did. I think when I spoke to David about Trine, and he was like, well, then you're gonna get all the love that you want, you know. And I think both David and Trine love and respect each other, and that does transcend. It does transcend, and it when we were standing on the day and shooting the scenes, I think you can feel that understanding that you guys have, and that was just very important. And they just have a chemistry. I mean, I hope you can feel it. They're quite something special, both separately, but definitely you put them in the same room, and it was unexpected every time.
Can I just comment on one thing? Because I just want to say it also takes a great director to allow space and room to explore all the moments. And I think that's important as an actor, that you explore the moment, but that there is also room for improvisation and just small little details that you suddenly understand and give life to the character. And David is functioning in the same way. You never know what happens when David is on set, in a good way, I mean.
So,
very good.
Can you illustrate us or give us a little bit more of a backstory? For example, the one scene that really, really moved me was when you first talk about your balancing problems over a meal, and then we realize for the first time what's inside you. Really, this anger of she being like this daughter and complete opposite. In a scene like that, Jeanette, how much was, dialogue that had to be exactly repeated in the way, or how much?
There was never any dialogue in this film that had to be exactly repeated as it said on page. I think it's fairly close to how it actually reads on the page, but obviously we play with it, and I think the deal was that we go into this room together as generous and open to each other as possible. And I'm in there with them, and we'll try to make the scenes, we set them free. And in doing that, I mean, there was, I remember the first take we did on that scene, and I almost couldn't look at it, and that was a wide shot. And because it was really, really, really intense. And it was one of the scenes I cried at when we were filming it. I was very moved by it, by their performance. But I think, for me, I don't get moved very often on my own things. What I was able to feel that, and feel them, because they gave me something I didn't expect each time. And you're only allowed to do that if you set the scene free.
Sorry, I just want to comment all the time. No, I just really want to focus a little bit on you, Bjørk, because it's such an amazing performance you do, and to do such a difficult thing. No, it's just like to do such a difficult scene as you mentioned, and it's only good because I mean the daughter is receiving it that way. So I mean we all have to live together, and I mean you're so young and it's your debut, so we were just so lucky that you found Bjørk to kind of level the whole thing up, because one thing is me and David, because we are experienced, but to be able to play with Bjørk also, that gave a performance up here, and also Luna, that gave a lot of poetry and weird things into her character. It was really a great privilege. I just wanted to say.
Well, I mean, I could say the exact same for you, Trine, because I remember the first time. I remember the first time that I had to shoot with you, and I was shitting my pants. But truly, I don't think I could have done it with anyone else, and also with David, because you guys, I mean, you feel comfortable, even though I was so nervous in the beginning, but then you warm up, and I mean, it was such a good play. I mean, everything, as you also said, I mean, it's unexpected, so you kind of go with the flow all the time, which is what it's all about, so amazing.
I'm afraid we almost have to come to an end, but I can't without last question, and that is, does this movie have a happy ending? Is it to us, or do you want to keep it a secret?
I don't think I'm the one to decide whether or not it's a happy ending for each and every one of you who sits there. I think that's up for you to decide. And I'll keep what I think a secret.
Thank you very, very much for bringing beginning